Hello and welcome back to the Nightcap. I'm Josh Rimmer on Nextsportstar.com. Joining us right now on the line, ESPN NFL analyst and NFL Hall of Famer Mike Ditka. Mike, thanks for taking the time to be with us.
You're welcome.
Mike, first I want to get your impressions on the NFL season. What did you think of the season this year? Were there any surprise teams for you, maybe even surprise players?
Well, I think when you look at the way the rookie quarterbacks played, I think everybody was a little bit surprised how well they played. They played like veterans when you talk about, Russell Martin. When you look about, RG3 and Luck, I thought those guys played terrific football. I really did. I was impressed with the way the Seattle Seahawks played. There were a lot of teams out there, I think, that surprised me by the way they played. And then you had the certain teams, and I think that Baltimore's proved they're pretty resilient, and we know the 49ers are a good team.
Mike, how about maybe some what are you thinking here on the Super Bowl this year? Obviously, it's going to be the San Francisco 49ers against the Baltimore Ravens. Harbaugh versus Harbaugh. What do you think of the Super Bowl matchup?
Well, I think it's a great matchup. I really do. I really liked the 49ers all year. I thought they were really a team that had to be reckoned with. I thought the other team would be the Patriots, but, what Baltimore did now, they've gone in now, and they've won 2 road games. This is a pretty impressive team. Everybody talks about Baltimore being a defensive-driven team. They're an offensive-driven team right now with Joe Flacco. They're playing great football on offense, throwing the ball very well. They don't take their foot off the gas, so this is going to be a tough game for the 49ers secondary, believe me.
Any predictions who you think is going to end up winning the Super Bowl this year? Do you think one team is a clear-cut favorite over the other?
No, I picked early in the year I picked the 49ers, but I say that right now, the Baltimore team is on a roll. I mean, they're really playing well. They got great confidence. Now, everybody talks about them being a defensive-driven team. They're an offensive-driven team. They score points, and they can put points on the board, and they can strike fast. And I think that's the thing that impresses me so much about them. And I just see the team going in there with tremendous confidence. Now, I know 49ers will win the same way. That's why I think it's going to be a great game. I don't know what the spread is, but I doubt it will be more than 4 points.
A lot of people were questioning San Francisco replacing their quarterback, Alex Smith, with Kaepernick. At the time, a lot of people weren't happy about it, but it seems now maybe everyone's changed their mind that the coach did the right job, that Harbaugh went with his gut feeling and switched to Kaepernick.
Well, being a head coach is not a popularity contest. Jim Harbaugh could care less what the media thinks or what I think or what you think. He made a decision based on what he thought was best for his football team. The other kid's a good quarterback, there's no question about it. But I think you got a much higher ceiling with Kaepernick. The kid is a great athlete, and he gives you a little more flexibility at that position.
Mike Ditka joining us on the line. Mike, I want to get back to the season that was. There were a lot of great performers this year. Peyton Manning, a lot of people didn't expect him to come out the way he did. Some people thought he was done playing football, surprised many. Tom Brady had a great season. And then you have another guy that had a really bad knee injury almost a year and a half ago in Adrian Peterson, and he comes back and has just a tremendous season. Which of the three would you give your MVP vote to?
Well, what Peterson overcame is tremendous. I know that Peyton Manning had a great year. There's no question about it. And he got his team to the playoffs. And they probably should have moved on in the playoffs. But, they made a bad play on defense. But I don't know. To overcome the knee injury that Adrian Peterson did, that's pretty impressive. I would have to say, I think there's more than one MVP, unfortunately, but they only give it to one guy. I'd probably give it to Peterson.
How about the team this year, Mike, that you were a little disappointed in, that you thought they would have been a little bit better than they were this year? Was there a team that struggled, that you thought they'd be maybe making the playoffs and maybe going far?
Well, I think you look at the Giants last year, they won the championship. This year they were pretty inconsistent, and I think it really ended up hurting them. I know they had some injuries, but that ended up hurting them. I didn't see much coming out of Philadelphia. I thought Chicago wasn't bad. They had 10-6 record. Green Bay is a good football team. They just need to get a better defense. They got a great quarterback, great coach, great offense. I thought Detroit would be a better football team than they were, but they seem to be their own worst enemy. When I look around the league, I don't know. Houston played good. I mean, there's a lot of teams that played pretty daggone good and became impressive at the end. But, the Saints, again, there's another one. They're a little bit too little too late.
And one final question for you, Coach. Really appreciate you taking the time to be with us. In Philadelphia, the Eagles finally brought in Chip Kelly, who wasn't apparently going to come in. He was going to stay at Oregon. He ends up going to the Eagles anyway. What do you think of the move? What do you think of Chip coming in? Will he be able to get the job done there in Philadelphia?
If he has good players. I mean, I think when you look at Chip Kelly and the kind of offense he runs, I think he's a great coach. I think he needs speed players with that offense he runs, and he needs to get some more speed on offense. Yeah, I think eventually he'll get it. It might not be there right now, but he's going to have to find a way to get that.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for joining us on the program. We'll definitely talk to you again soon. All the best to you.
All right, thank you, guys.
That was Hall of Famer, former NFL coach Mike Ditka. Our thanks to Mike for taking the time to be with us. I actually did that interview earlier today. So our thanks to Mike for taking the time to be with us. Always love talking to the coach.